And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to High School Hoops on IndianaSRN and IPSathletics.tv. Jimmy Cook alongside Doc Stratton. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Thursday night with us here on IndianaSRN and IPSathletics.tv. We've got a battle of top 10 teams in their respective classes as the 6th ranked in 1A Tindley Tigers at 12-7 on the season travel to Crispus Attucks to take on the 9th ranked Tigers in Class 4A at 15-4 on the year. And as I welcome Doc into the fray, Doc, tonight's contest should be a fun one. It's either going to go one of two ways, at least on paper, if you're a Tindley Tigers fan. For the Tigers against Class 4A opponents like Crispus Attucks, they are 3-5 on the season, and they are averaging about a 7-point margin of victory in those 3 wins, but they're getting blown out by about 22 a game in those 5 losses. So it's been a tale of 2 teams when they go up against higher class level competition, and we don't know yet which Tindley Tigers team we'll see tonight.
Yeah, first of all, I'm surprised you didn't make a Tigers versus Tigers reference. So there's, we've got time for.
I'm above that, Doc. I'm kidding.
we've got time for dad jokes all day long. So anyway, you're right. What you said. You kind of, if you're Tindley, there's that thought in the back of your mind, which is, this is a 4A school. It's a big athletic team, right? They're really good. They're in 4A. We've got them ranked number 6, number 9 in 4A, which in Indiana that's pretty darn good. So but Tindley, they're 6th in 1A, and there's some good 1A schools down there too, especially this year. So I'm always somebody that looks at matchups instead of. On paper. I mean, like you said, on paper, there's some really good players that we need to take a look at. Jaden Pinkston for Tindley, and then you go, to Attucks, and you're looking at Isaiah Stafford. So, he's almost got 20 points a game. So, I think it's going to be a really good game. A lot of it's going to, I see a mirror, to be honest with you, because both of these teams like to have 4 guards out, one big inside, and then run motion off of that. They both feel comfortable in defense playing zone. Obviously, they're both athletic enough to play man-to-man if they have to. But I'm interested to see what matchups are going to end up coming to the forefront that we need to pay attention to as far as which way this game's going to go.
Taking a look at both these teams, starting first with the visiting Tindley Tigers. They're winners of 6 of their last 9. That includes wins over Lafayette, Jeff, Cecina, Tech, and Heritage Christian. Notable results for them: they lost to Cathedral in the City Alliance semifinal. Cathedral obviously would go on to win the whole thing in the city tournament, beating Crispus Attucks in that championship game. Tindley also lost to Brownsburg on February 4th, and then on February 6th, they were defeated by Fort Wayne Blackhawk. Both those games were on the road. Their most recent contest, though, they beat Purdue Poly of Englewood 85-65 on February the 9th. For the Crispus Attucks Tigers, they're winners of 6 of their last 8, including wins over Marion, Ritter, and Covenant Christian. They lost to Ben Davis on the road on January 30th in overtime. We mentioned they lost to Cathedral in the city final. And Attucks last time out, they defeated Class 1A Gary 21st Century 96-54. We already mentioned what the Tindley Tigers have done against 4A schools. Attucks against 1A programs have had 2 such outings. We mentioned that Gary 21st Century school already, and they played Indy Metro on January the 14th. They won that 100-58. Margin of victory for the Tigers of Crispus Attucks in those 1A games is 42 points. So we already mentioned, Doc, about how those losses have been rough for the Tigers of Tindley. Mm-hmm. Well, for Crispus Attucks, their wins against 1A programs have been dominant.
They have been, but I don't see them matching up as well as Tindley will. So, I think that the 1A 4A comparison is a good one. And it's one that's usually tough to overcome if you're the 1A school. But I think if there is, I think Tindley has the guys, as long as they stay out of foul trouble, that can match up with Attucks and make it a game.
We should have a fun one for you tonight. The Crispus Attucks Tigers at 15-4 on the season. And we look a little bit at John Harrell's Indiana High School basketball. He has this an Attucks win by 22, 79-57. His prediction is the final there. Sagarin ratings, Attucks ranked 15th in all of the state. Tindley ranked 77th, but 4th in Class 1A. Meanwhile, the Tigers of Crispus Attucks are ranked 12th in the Sagarin ratings in Class 4A. We'll dive a little bit deeper into both these coaches when we get a chance. It's the Tigers of Crispus Attucks and the Tindley Tigers. Set to do battle up next on IndianaSRN.
What's the number one misconception you think about Freemasonry?
Well, I think most people just think of Freemasonry as some kind of secret society, and you go with some of the rumors out there and so on, and they really don't understand who we are. They don't understand that we are a fraternity of brothers first, and our obligation is to take care of each other and our widows and orphans, etc., within our group. They don't understand what the fraternity part of Freemasonry really is, and that's the misconception that's out there. I think first and foremost of anyone that wants to join Freemasonry, I'd like them to know that it's really not a secret society. You may say it's a society with a secret because we have some handshakes and some passwords that you could easily find down in a library if you get the right book. Freemasonry is more, it's a brotherhood, it's a fraternity, it's a way of sharing common thoughts and everything with people of all different vocations that really understand of getting together on the level. Whether you're a judge or a police officer or a janitor, you're all on the same level when you're in a Masonic lodge room. And I think that's one of the greatest things, that you can sit with people of all vocations, but you have that certain thing in common, that you're all brothers.
Hey, it's Keith Myers from Indiana Sports Radio Network. Well, thank you that you're watching the game tonight on IndianaSRN. If you would like to know more information about IndianaSRN, send me an email, coach@IndianaSRN.org. As vice president of this company, we hope that you sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN, where you're always in the game.
Welcome back to Crispus Attucks High School, the site of tonight's contest between the 9th-ranked in Class 4A Crispus Attucks Tigers and the 6th-ranked in Class 1A Tindley Tigers. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. First for the visiting Tindley Tigers. At one guard, a 5'10 sophomore, number 4, Billy Brown. At another guard, a 6-foot senior, number 15, Antonio Robinson. At a forward, a 6'3 junior, number 21, Darian Davis. At another guard, a 6'4 sophomore, number 24, Jaden Pinkston. And rounding them out, and their leading scorer, a 6'7 junior forward, number 35, Aaron Humphrey. Head coach is Omar Dillard, 25-19 in his second year at Tindley. For the 9th-ranked Crispus Attucks Tigers, at one guard, a 6'4 senior, number 2, Donovan Barnett. At another guard, a junior, number 11, James Smith. At another guard spot, a 6'2 senior, number 12, Isaiah Stafford. At forward, a 6'7 senior, number 22, Jalen Carson. And a sophomore at 6'7, number 33, Jalen Hook. Should be noted, Orlando Hall, the sophomore, is in the starting lineup for Tindley. Subbing him back in. The ball is tapped, controlled, and won by Tindley. And we're underway in this first quarter, which is brought to you by the Morales Group, as Darian Davis controls at the top, gives off to Humphrey Jr. Catch and shoot three by Hall right out of the gate. Missed it badly, but the rebound is won by Davis. The Tigers of Crispus Attucks were napping as Tindley draws first blood. Catch and shoot three the other way. That's long. Rebound won by Smith. He'll hesitate. Can't finish. The board to Carson. He hangs. No. Third chance. Yes, the bunny is good that time for the senior. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, so far it looks like they're we're taking a little man-to-man on for Crispus Attucks, but man, Hall didn't hesitate at all that last possession, did he?
Humphrey Jr. in the post. It's stolen away, and we'll push it up the floor. Jalen Carson make that. Isaiah Stafford rather leaves it for Hooks, who puts it up and in.
That was pretty. A little Euro step there to get that set up.
A 4-0 run by Crispus Attucks.
There's a lot of length out there on defense. It's going to be difficult right there, as you can see, to drive into the middle of the lane and get a shot off.
Barnett ahead to Hooks. It's blocked, sent back by Pinkston.
On both ends.
Hall rises. That was partially tipped. He tried to follow his shot. It's out of bounds. Back to Crispus Attucks.
Well, I'll tell you, he really doesn't lack confidence. You could tell he's stepping right into those shots and he's not stopping for anybody here. So
Donovan Barnett will walk it up the floor for Crispus Attucks. We do want to address to you, the folks at home, if you're watching the broadcast, we're having technical difficulties at Crispus Attucks, so we don't have a crowd mic in place tonight. So just so you know, me and Doc aren't going crazy. We're not just having a conversation with ourselves, but we're happy to bring the action to you nonetheless at Crispus Attucks High School. Jalen Hooks, a floater up,
Wow.
And that is good.
What a
He's starting to
shot.
get into a rhythm.
That was a great shot there with a little bit of, a hand in the face. That was as good a defense as you can get.
I think we might have a foul or an official stoppage.
Yeah, it looks like there was an injury over there.
Can't tell from our vantage point. 6:05 left to go in this first quarter. I think you're right that it was a slippage or an injury there, Doc.
Yeah, it looks like Jalen Carson was down for just a couple minutes. So it looks like Donovan Scott will replace him for a little bit.
Scott off the bench this year, averaging about 4 points. Actually a regular in the starting lineup prior to tonight. So we'll get him in reserve action. 6-0 run for Crispus Attucks. Tindley looking for an answer here early.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, they love the high percentage shot, but it's going to be really difficult for them to get in there without having a lot of length to get through.
Almost stripped. It is a turnover. Will they get it to Hooks? Look out. Hooks, nice Euro.
Wow.
Tried to jam it, but just finger rolls it up and in. He has scored the last 6. It's an 8-0 run by Crispus Attucks.
I like his game. He's got a really pretty smooth kind of, step to his game. I like that. That's a good one.
Robinson gets the
Wow.
friendly roll. Stops the run there.
Man, we are so blessed to watch this kind of basketball on a nightly basis. There's another 3.
Off the mark. Rebound won by Humphrey Jr.
But there's so much talent out there on this court. And, I mean, it's just a regular Thursday night for us, right?
Always a quality contest on IndianaSRN. Humphrey had that partially blocked. Here goes Scott. On the far side, he'll give to Barnett where they'll reset things. About 3 minutes gone in this first quarter. Crispus Attucks by 4.
So you notice most of the offenses around.
Three-pointer good by James Smith. Knocks it down on the right side. Makes it a 7-point game.
They didn't have any inside presence there. And you'll see sometimes Tindley will be that way as well. But they usually have 4 guys out, 1 in.
Hooks. Baseball pass. Can't get the layup to go. And a blocking foul, I believe, is the call. Let's wait for clarification. It will be a block. It'll be on Orlando Hall. It'll be his first. The first on either team. And it'll let Hooks shoot some free throws. Tonight's game brought to you by Alley Cat Gymnastics. Do you have a child attending a daycare or preschool in the greater Indianapolis area? Are they interested in gymnastics or a Ninja Warrior class? Alley Cat Gymnastics is a mobile program that brings the fun to your child's school or daycare. We even have ninja classes for your little warrior. For more information, visit our website at www.alleycatgymnastics.com or call us at 317-820-9484. Also by Officially Human, our foundational goal is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the fields and courts. Check out our website at officiallyhuman.com. Hooks splits the free throws there. Give him 7 in the quarter, make it an 8-point lead.
Attucks sticking to their man defense here.
Can't blame them. Been successful to this point. Pinkston plays catch with it. Try to get the pick and roll. It's stolen away. They get it up ahead to Hooks, and he got a bit crazy with it on that pass. Rising, firing, and leaving it short that time was Billy Brown. Little give and go. The lob off the window.
Are you
Hooks, he threw it down.
That's great.
And a timeout taken by Tindley. Thought he might go for the classic lob. Instead, they throw it off glass. Hooks able to time the jump perfectly and throw it down for 2.
Are you kidding? That was amazing. Again, just another Thursday night here in IndianaSRN, right? But, wow, I mean, the vision it takes to see that and the confidence. I mean, to me, that's where, if you watch this, I mean, so if you're going to do something like this, you have to execute it because you don't want to go back to the bench.
It almost was too high for
Yeah,
Hooks.
it was.
He just got his fingertips on it to throw it down.
But I got to tell you, man, I mean, they are playing with another level of confidence right now. And when they're doing that, not only are they hard to beat, but they are so much fun to watch.
It's a 6-0 run for the Tigers, winning the quarter by 10 right now. 14-4 your in-game score, approaching the halfway point of this first quarter. Brown to answer. He knocks down a nice triple. Billy Brown's first basket of the ball game cuts the lead to 7.
Well, they needed something desperately, and right now I don't like what I see out of them as they switch to a 2-3 zone on defense. There's not a lot of movement on offense.
Barnett gives over to Stafford. Crosses over.
Wow.
And they'll call him for traveling. Sends it back to Tindley. Trailing by 7.
Well, Tindley needed that, and they need to capitalize on this one again just to get some confidence back.
Pinkston got around his defender, and it's wedged. That'll be a tie-up, and the arrow will favor the Tigers. Great defense there.
Yeah, that I like how he put pressure on the defense. I like how he went for the high percentage shot. Chances are good you're going to get a foul right there. So I like the drive. It'll pay off soon.
Crispus Attucks will walk it ahead. Stafford to Barnett. They'll play and skip passes across the zone. Hooks featured there in the corner. Smith. Now Stafford. There's Hooks, and I think he might have walked with him.
Good call. So what they're trying to do there is you saw that there was a presence around the free throw line almost the entire time they were working the ball on the perimeter. And against a 2-3 zone, that's exactly what you want. In fact, that's probably what coach is going to talk to them about.
Full timeout. We'll take one as well. 3:15 left in this first quarter. Crispus Attucks by 7 on IPSathletics.tv.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Back at Crispus Attucks High School, Crispus Attucks with the basketball and a 5-point lead as a basket scored while we were away by Tindley. There's a layup. Good by Barnett. Lead is 7, 16-9. Jimmy Cook alongside Doc Stratton. This first quarter brought to you by the Morales Group. Davis operating with Pinkston. Gives to Brown. That's a deep triple. It's long, and the rebound won by Scott. They'll look to push ahead. Hooks in space. Now Stafford pulls up inside the foul line, in and out. Rebound to Darian Davis. Hooks is meeting him there. Tigers not letting him push in transition and a travel. Shuffled the feet there. Did Antonio Robinson. It'll go back to Crispus Attucks.
So a lot of times when you apply pressure, if you're playing defense, it's not to steal the ball. It's just to put pressure on the other team to turn it over, and that's exactly what happened.
Smith gives over to Barnett. Looked like Hook was going to set a screen. Instead, he goes around it. And they'll keep battling against this zone. Tindley realized they really couldn't be effective, at least what they wanted to execute going man-to-man. So switched to this zone a few possessions ago. Catch and shoot 3, Stafford. Wide of the mark. Pinkston tracks it down. Brown, a nice crossover and a laser pass that Glenn just wasn't ready for. Joseph Glenn checked into the ball game during that stoppage. It's out of bounds to Crispus Attucks.
So what Tindley did by going to the 2-3 is now they've moved Hooks from down low where they could not handle him, and that moves him up to the free throw line where he is now a distributor. So it turns him from being their scorer into almost being their quarterback for the offense, which is a good thing.
9 points from him in the quarter so far. I can understand why you might want to make a game plan adjustment around that. Hushawn Ware gives over to Stafford. He's cut off. Hook's going to have to chase that down, and he does. Less than 90 seconds to go in the quarter. Ware for 3. Long. Almost Stafford did time that jump perfectly
did.
to Ware, falling away, hit the side of the backboard. Cleaning up the glass again is Carson. Put back no. And Carson's going to be the last one to touch it.
Wow.
Couple of opportunities there for Crispus Attucks, but Tindley defense by the skin of their teeth holds.
Yeah, they put just enough pressure on. I tell you, I don't know how the ball stayed out of that one.
68 seconds left in this first quarter. Davis brings it ahead. Still in this man-to-man of the Tigers. It's a hard screen. It's an illegal screen. Humphrey Jr., the guilty party.
Yeah, they'll call that every time. You have, at least when there's contact made, you have to have your feet set there. So, I mean, that one's an easy one.
Let's see what Crispus Attucks does here if they decide to hold for one or if they'll stay the aggressor. That tends to be the side of the coin they sit on as being the aggressor. Quick passes, find hooks on the baseline, sent back and rejected by Pinkston.
That was just timed perfectly.
Up the other way, Pinkston's shot is sent back. Barnett gets it, but I think one of his teammates got some body contact, so it'll send Jade into the charity stripe. It's a block party.
It is a block party, man. That was great. I tell you, there's so much athleticism on this court right now.
Couldn't begin to calculate the amount of athleticism.
Oh, my gosh.
2 free throws upcoming for the sophomore. Leaves that one short. He's a 53% free throw shooter on the season. Remind you, tonight's game brought to you by KOA Campgrounds Holiday. Whether you're exploring the local area or hanging out at the campground, KOA Holidays are an ideal place to relax and play. There's plenty to do with amenities and services to make your stay memorable. Make your reservation now for the 2021 season. Give them a call at 317-849-1397, located at I-70 in Mount Comfort Road. Free throw was missed, and then we had a foul on Crispus Attucks, I believe, away from the basketball, or just a standard turnover.
I think it was definitely a foul there. I didn't catch who it was on.
And not sure, I didn't get the number either on who that foul was on. We'll catch up with it in a minute. Layup by Brown, off the mark. Final 30 seconds. That pass is plucked out of the air by Davis. Up to Brown. What a whip-around pass, and the layup is true for Robinson. He's now got 4 in the quarter. Suddenly it's a 5-point game.
Yeah, that's the kind of game that I think Tindley's going to have to try to push here, even though Attucks is really good at it.
Final 5 seconds. Stafford gives over to Barnett. He'll rise and fire. Almost banked it in. Rebound to Tindley. That shot is up and will not count. End of the first. Crispus Attucks by 5. You're watching on IPSathletics.tv and IndianaSRN. Welcome back for the second quarter here on IndianaSRN and IPSathletics.tv. And this second quarter is brought to you by College Hunks and Movers. At the end of one, Crispus Attucks on top of Tindley, 16-11. It'll be Tindley basketball, trailing by 5 to open up quarter number 2. Darian Davis, who had a basket, turns it over there. Quickly, here come the Tigers. Another lob and a tip. Man, we're turning into the Harlem Globetrotters out here. Never seen that. And lob to a tip and then a dunk attempt, but they're going to call it offensive interference.
Yeah.
Probably the right call. There was no basket to be made anyway, but there was contact with the rim when a shot was up, so it'll be a harmless turnover.
Right.
And we'll send it back over to Tindley.
Man, they are fun to watch on the transition.
Stafford steals it. He'll pull up. The elbow jumper is good. Isaiah Stafford gets into the scorebook. Leading the way for Crispus Attucks, you guessed it was Jalen Hooks with 9. If you're just joining us, that included a pass off the glass that he caught and threw down. We have a foul against the Tigers, I believe.
Which Tigers?
The Crispus Attucks Tigers.
Number 12.
That'll go against Isaiah Stafford. his first unofficially. Tindley by the top of the arc. They trail by 7. Catch and shoot for Brown. Won't go. Hooks clears up the rebound. And he has the ability to bring up the floor if he wants to. That 6'7" frame, he's not afraid to.
Man, he's got a complete game, doesn't he?
They force feed him down low, and I think that might have gone off his leg. Great defense there by Darian Davis to affect the entry pass. Tindley will get it back.
Yeah, he's so athletic. I mean, that's a rarity right there for him to miss that.
Pinkston catch and shoot triple is good. We're down to a 4-point game.
Good to see Pinkston getting in the score sheet finally. He's somebody that Tindley usually relies on throughout the night to get points.
That's an easy pocket pick. Does Brown going to try to lay it up and in? Thought he might try to.
I did too.
Give us something special. Instead, off the window and in cleanly.
When he grabbed it, I was with you. I thought that
you saw the gather. You thought maybe something had happened there. It's a 2-point game. Catch and shoot 3 in the air. 3 through the bottom of the net for Kushan Ware off the bench.
Wow.
The sophomore extends the lead back to 5. Humphrey Jr. He's the leading scorer for the Tigers. He's been quiet so far tonight. They feed him down low, and they're going to go the other way with it, an offensive foul.
It may have been on the baseline. Was there a foul?
I think you're right. I think it was just a simple toe tap on that sideline. So Ware 3.
Yeah, if you look at Ware, he was shooting that shot over and over during warm-up, so I kind of felt like if he had a chance, he was going to chuck it during the game.
He's got the confidence behind it.
For sure.
Barnett gives to Stafford. Long 2. Well off the mark. Rebound Tindley. Robinson pushing the pace. Catch and shoot. Davis. That's an air ball. Rebound Barnett. He pushed it up ahead. Ware. Unselfish. And that might have been goaltending. It is on Pinkston. So count the basket for Smith.
Man, I tell you, they are so much fun to watch in the transition game. They have everybody. They've got such good vision coming down, and they do their best drawing a defense to them as long as they can, and then passing it off at the last second.
Floater. Long by Brown.
Ooh. No, you got to give that to him.
On the floor.
That was pretty impressive.
Call a foul on Stafford. That's his second.
Yeah, that would be a huge loss if Stafford gets any more fouls anytime soon.
There's a clean layup, true by Humphrey Jr., and he's finally in the scorebook.
Yeah, that was a great inbounds design there by Coach Dillard.
On the baseline, floater, up and in for Smith. He's got 4 in the quarter. Lead back up to 7. An official says my time. He's having a conversation with Antonio Robinson. And this might end up just being a warning, but they didn't like the chippiness of where things were going.
If it is a warning, that I commend that official for just taking a second to nip it in the bud instead of making a big spectacle out of it. That I really enjoy officials that do that, and they kind of almost calm the situation down before it gets out of hand.
Couldn't agree more. It's a better way to kind of diffuse that versus throwing out the tee immediately.
Right.
Brown.
Uh-oh.
Risky pass. Pinkston. Had it stripped. Here come the Tigers. Long shot off the mark. Just past the foul line. Outlet, layup, true for Brown. Give him 5 on the night. Make it a 5-point game.
Yeah, so what I was going to say before was Tindley is not going to get a clean shot from inside. They keep trying to pound it in there.
Ware an air ball. Rebound by Pinkston.
So if they slow it down here, they're going to try. They try to do that every time, and usually Attucks is a little bit more physical. But
Pinkston wants no part of slowing it down there. He instead decided to just put caution to the wind.
He sure did.
3-point game.
He took my advice and went straight out the window, didn't he?
30-second timeout taken by Crispus Attucks. We'll stay here. Tonight's game brought to you by Summers Heating and Cooling. When you're looking for prompt professional service, you can find the experienced team you need at Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We are family-owned and operated. Call us today at 317-620-10 1073. And by Burtner Electric, we do more than service repairs. We also wire new homes all around the Indianapolis area. You can even ask your builder to use Burtner Electric Incorporated when you build a new home. For free estimates, call Burtner Electric today at 317-565-7779. And as always, if you're watching tonight on IndianaSRN, be sure to let us know. Tweet us at IndianaSRN on Twitter and be ready for a shout-out. Hit that follow button while you're there on Twitter at IndianaSRN. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, search IndianaSRN, click that red and white subscribe button, and never miss a second of the action. IndianaSRN, where you're always in the game. Kevin Mims gives over to James Smith, back to Mims. They're just playing keep away against this zone. Shot off the mark by Carson at a point-blank look at it as we're at the halfway point of this second quarter. Pinkston, and he traveled with it.
Yeah. See, and that's kind of what I was saying before, which is if they're in a half-court set, so not in transition, Attucks has done an amazing job of just playing defense in the paint. They'll give you the jumpers, but it has been so difficult for Tindley to do anything inside.
Smith to Mims for three. That's long. Rebound one by Tindley. Hall smothered by Mims. Playing great man-to-man defense off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this defense has been really good all game so far.
Humphrey Jr. gives to Charles Jelks. He pump faked and he shuffled the feet.
See, and right there, I mean, all they have to do is just speed the game up for Tindley. So get in their face, make them do things they're not comfortable with, and you're going to get turnovers just like that. They may not steal it, but they'll force turnovers because the game is moving so fast for Tindley.
Mays gives a lob there to Carson, and he's hand-checked by Hall. That'll be Hall's second if that's where it stands. Be a side out for Crispus Attucks. Mims a pump fake, froze the defense. Now they'll feed inside. Carson going to work, falling away and scoring. Jalen Carson with 4 now. The lead back to 5.
That's a heck of a move. I really like that move. His footwork down there is amazing.
And Mims, great on-ball defense, knocks it off the leg of, I believe that was Hall that he tipped that off the leg, so it'll go back to Crispus Attucks as they're able to force the turnover.
You know, we only have a 5-point game here, and doesn't it feel like Attucks is I mean, all
it
that,
plays like that
all game
to make you understand why it feels like that. But that shot might not have. The officials, the way they're gesturing over there, made me think like that basket might not have counted, or we had a brief pause before this inbound.
It could
I'm going to say it could have hit the top of the
yeah.
backboard. You're right on that.
I will have to get word on that, but yeah, I mean, it's just things like that seem, to be going Crispus Attucks' way.
Sounds like you were right. So could have been a 6-point swing there.
Yeah.
Take the basket off and make it a 5-point game. Barnett gives to Mims, full head of speed with a little hop. Maybe try to do too many moves there. Brown through traffic. Scoop layup. Ooh. No. And now here comes Crispus Attucks. Stops. Pops. Smith for 3. Gets redemption that time. He's got 7 now in the quarter. 8-point game and a timeout, I think, taken by Tindley. Or is it an official's timeout? It's a 30-second timeout by Tindley. We will stay here. I want to remind you, this second quarter is brought to you by College Hunks and Movers. A look inside the Tindley huddle. Jimmy Cook alongside Doc Stratton. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on IPSathletics.tv and on IndianaSRN. Doc, as we look inside the Tindley huddle, what have you seen so far in this first half from Tindley, and what have they attempted to adjust here in quarter number 2? Yeah,
so I like their transition game. That's something that they're doing really well. They're athletic. Their defense, since they moved to the 2-3, has actually been pretty good. I'm pretty sure Coach saw that they're not going to be able to stack up man-to-man up and down the lineup, so it's just better to go to that zone. And like we said before, what that does is it takes their best player and turns him into a facilitator when he's on the court. So, I mean, hey, you're going to have to find something sustainable if you're them in the half-court game.
Brown, little give and go. Pinkston for 3, left it short. It falls right to Humphrey Jr. Trying to make something happen, gives to Robinson. Almost had his pocket picked. Body's on the deck. Tigers come up with it. Mims in space. It's a one-on-one for him. A defender trailing and sent back by Davis. He didn't see him. Pinkston up ahead now, a 3-on-2. He stutter steps. It's rejected by Barnett. 2 blocks in a row by each team. Barnett leaves to Mays. What a defensive effort by both teams. Mims for 3. Buckets.
Are you kidding?
Kevin Mims knocks it down for his first basket of the ball game.
Did you see him turn before that went in? That was amazing. That's confidence right there.
90 seconds left to go in the quarter. The lead is ballooned to 11. Almost over and back. Let's see if that's a hand check call. It is a hand check call on Smith.
Yeah, watch this. Watch this 3 here. So he's going to let it go. Whoop.
He knew the second he let it go, it was going down.
You know, I was a really good three-point shooter. No joke. But I would never do that. I just didn't have that much confidence.
It takes some moxie to have a little spin move at the end. Less than 90 seconds to go in the half. That foul a second ago is on James Smith. They tried to go to Tindley to Davis. Just a little miscommunication there. Turnover back to Crispus Attucks.
Yeah, that was a heck of a set. That's too bad that didn't go down.
They decided to force the issue. Almost a turnover. Brown could not walk the tightrope with it.
It's still good defense. I mean, that's still a win right there. I mean, it gives your defense confidence. It speeds the game up for them a little bit. I still like that. Those are still, stepping in the passing lane is still a good thing.
Active hands on by both teams and defensively, and it leads to a turnover there.
Yep, right there. I mean, if you just make them speed up just a little bit more than what they're comfortable with, it's going to turn around in your favor.
Mims almost tried to get an offensive foul there with Brown. Tried to sell it with the head bob. Official wasn't buying it.
Think he plays soccer?
Brown gives over to Glenn. Now Davis. They had a trap for a second, then call it back. Humphrey Jr. battling through and stays with it for the finish. Aaron Humphrey Jr. now with 4. Back to a 9-point game. Mims, razzle-dazzle, leaves it. Corner 3. Off the mark by Barnett. Humphrey Jr. the board. They get it up quickly to the big fella in Glenn. He almost carried it to Robinson. Floater is good. 4-0 run for Tindley. 7-point game just like that.
Again, they found more points in the transition game. That's not a problem for Tindley, that's for sure.
This was a run they desperately needed.
Mm-hmm.
Mims matched up with Brown. Mays, beautiful passing. Mims stops, pops, long. Final 5 seconds. Humphrey Jr. has time. Gets up to Davis with 2, and he turns it over with 1.9 to go. A breakdown by Tindley. Now you have an opportunity for a catch and shoot. Maybe one dribble if you're lucky. If you're Crispus Attucks. You'll have to inbound it from half court.
Yeah, coaches have a 1.9 play. So I mean, I would love to see what this set's going to end up being.
Mims gives it to Stafford. Maybe a wasted opportunity there by the Tigers, but they'll take a 7-point lead into the intermission. They lead at 33-26 at the halftime break. In the quarter, 17-15. Crispus Attucks outscored Tindley, so a little bit closer margin there, but Tindley still with a lot of ground to make up in the second half.
Well, the good thing is they can make it up fast, right? Their transition game has been working well tonight. Now, Crispus Attucks, man, their defense is so good. So you let them get set up, it's going to be a problem. It's
going to be a fun second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll have it for you in just a few moments. Again, Crispus Attucks leads Tindley by 7 at the break. You're watching on IPSathletics.tv and IndianaSRN.
Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Well, I just joined the foundation in September. I'm thrilled for the opportunity to be part of this team and part of this program. I love high school athletics. It's been meaningful for me, my family, and my children, and I'm just thrilled for the opportunity to be part of the team. We can make a difference, and I feel like when you come into this job, for me personally, you get a chance to go make a difference in this area of the state, in all three of our districts, from state line to state line.
I heard about the foundation from Bobby Cox, and he called me and said, would you be interested? Well, how do you say no to an organization that your father's been involved in? I've participated. I've given lectures to coaches on athletic training and participation. So I jumped at the opportunity to give something back to the IHSAA.
Well, the foundation's set up currently to start to provide programs for schools around the state, specifically for student leadership opportunities, coach, administrator, principal, superintendent development opportunities for them as well.
Well, obviously sports is our world here at the Indianapolis Colts, and you can't work for a pro football team without being a huge proponent of sports in general. And the things that sports teaches young people, it mirrors life in a lot of ways. It teaches teamwork and goal setting and perseverance, discipline, and it also teaches you the rewards of hard work. And there's such a high and adrenaline rush when you've achieved or been victorious or performed well after months, if not years, of preparation and hard work. And that's just one of the reasons that we support the IHSAA Foundation.
Yes, I think that quite clearly there are communities that have rallying, galvanizing impacts, and high school sports has always been that in the state of Indiana. But you also see that growing commitment around communities as they spend their evenings with their children as well as with the people that they know in their communities, and it really brings communities together. So I think that high school athletics has a significant role in positive development of our various communities around the state. You can't quite compete if you don't have the same equipment, you don't have the same resources, you don't have the same nutrition, you don't have the same sort of coaching, but you can elevate that by contributing to the IHSAA's foundation, which supports those initiatives.
Every young person deserves the opportunity just the same to participate and to be a part of things. And so the opportunity the foundation has to increase the role of student athletes in their community, to strengthen the relationship and the role and the effectiveness and the leadership of their coaches, to learn to be leaders. Being a part of a team is a great leadership development experience.
Women who are in board roles, women who are leading companies, guess what? One of the number one alignment items is leadership and played high school and probably college sports. That matters, and both of those are education-based. So it had an impact on me. I'm now a businesswoman. I also coach basketball, but having to juggle education and sports and perform both at a high level is really, really a lesson learned for life.
Education-based athletics matters, the student and the athlete. We take that seriously. The student first, the athlete second. The field of play is an extension of the classroom where these kids are learning life lessons that they will take with them for the rest of their lives.
Athletics is an extension of the classroom. And how it impacted me, I had to learn how to operate on a team. And then as I became a captain, then I had to learn how to coach and guide my colleagues. Guess what? That then happened at work. 10 and 20 and now 30 years later. You have to learn how to show up and be on time. The bus leaves. If you're not there, you can't go.
I think in high school athletics, you learn a lot about leadership. I was able to be a team captain for 3 years, and I learned so much that it's not just about the position, but it's about the influence that you're able to make towards a positive change with a mission greater than yourself. And that lesson for me has been able to apply to going to Notre Dame, being a team captain there, to going and playing 5 years professionally and a year in the NBA. And there's a difference in the resilience of the athletes that played high school athletics. And there's a difference in how they're able to bounce back the day after a tough loss, or they're able to bounce back after a coach corrects them on the thing that they need to do. And the resilience and the opportunity to be able to lead in that way is something that's going to carry well past, but be able to be learned better there than it can, in my opinion, any other place.
Well, our patrons can all go to our website and they can get involved with donating to the foundation. We like to call that investing. We're investing in young people, investing in our schools. And then our schools will have an opportunity to solicit funds in the forms of grants from our foundation board, and we will entertain those grants on an annual basis and make awards based upon those requests that we receive. And we want that to be an ongoing and a growing opportunity for not only our patrons that support us at our contest in our communities, but also our member schools to identify things they feel that are important in their schools and their communities where they need additional funding and support, and that's something that the foundation can be a part of.
Or moving project has arrived, and College Hunks Hauling Junk and Moving has you covered. Honest, uniformed, nice, knowledgeable, service. College Hunks Hauling Junk and Moving.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Welcome back to Crispus Attucks High School. 33-26 your score. A 7-point advantage for the Tigers of Crispus Attucks. Jimmy Cook alongside Doc Stratton. Doc, adjustments you'd like to see for both teams starting first with visiting Tindley.
Yeah, so with Tindley, it's just going to be keep doing what you're doing in the transition game. Keep pushing the ball. You've done that really well. But then, try to slow it down once you get in. Don't let the Attucks defense, which has been amazing tonight, don't let them dictate, anything that you're doing on offense. Try to do what you do, whatever your individual personality is on offense. You got to try to find something that's sustainable against this defense. If you're Crispus Attucks, you don't change anything. I mean, some of their shots aren't falling, and honestly, it's some high percentage shots as well. So if you're Attucks, I would just keep doing what you're doing, and that especially means keep playing that defense. That defense has been rock solid for them, and I'm excited to see Jalen Hooks come back out and get going. He sat almost that entire second quarter.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Nearly all that second quarter was Hooks not out there. They didn't really need him after the massive lead they were able to establish. Well, that and the fact that Crispus Attucks, one of the deepest teams in Class 4A when they're on. A lot of young pieces to mix with their upperclassmen. They'll have the basketball to start this third quarter. Stafford on the baseline misses. A layup off the right block is good for Donovan Barnett. He now has 6. Lead is 9. And a travel.
Yep. Again.
That was a point of emphasis in the first half.
Yeah.
You'd think Tindley's coaching staff would let the players know.
Yeah.
First time's fine, but if that happens again, it needs to be stressed how big of an issue of importance it is to the officials.
Right, and it really is. I mean, every time they go in, It's not a high percentage shot when you got that much length down there.
They go to Hooks immediately, and he's fouled. I believe that's in the act, so Jalen will go to the charity stripe. He had 9 points in the first half. All 9 came in the first quarter. This third quarter, of course, is brought to you by Piper Logistics, also by Alley Cat Gymnastics. Do you have a child attending a daycare or preschool in the greater Indianapolis area? Are they interested in gymnastics or a Ninja Warrior class? Alley Cat Gymnastics is a mobile program that brings the fun to your child's school or daycare. We even have ninja classes for your little warrior. For more information, visit our website at www.alley, that's A-L-L-I-E, catgymnastics.com, or call us at 317-820-9484. Hooks misses both free throws, so it'll stay at a 9-point game. Just 30 seconds into this third quarter. Brown. Little scoop pass to Humphrey. Finds a man in the corner. Triples in and out. Staying with it, though, was Pinkston. He was blocked from behind. Great defense there by the Tigers. Adds to a long list of rejections we've seen by both defenses.
Yeah, both sides. I mean, they not only do they have the length, but they time it perfectly.
Brown found the defense napping. Robinson could not get the drive to go. Crispus Attucks the board.
I do like that, though. I like. Typically, you're going to get a call on that 9 out of 10 times.
Barnett, they work high-low, gets it back, catch and shoot 3, off the mark. Hooks tried to tap at it, and he did successfully. Jalen Carson falling away. Got his own rebound. Hooks at the foul line. Why not? Jalen Hooks now into double figures. His first points since that first quarter, but again, we hardly saw him at all, and now he makes a steal on the other end. Well, they lob to him. It's blocked. Well read by Brown. They get it back to Carson. His floater won't happen. Tracks down a rebound, though. Battles through. They find Hooks. Hooks will reset to Barnett. Smith can't find it. Saved back to Carson. Now Smith will shoot for 3. Off the mark. Yeah, Brown defensively, he was not letting himself be a part of another highlight play.
No, right. Yeah, that was really good timing. I mean, he
read it the whole way.
He did, and that's what was so impressive about it, was he put himself right in the middle of that triangle of guys coming down and really put himself in position to take that away. And then he timed it perfectly. That was great.
Foul goes against Donovan Barnett. That'll be his first on either team in this second half.
Man, that defense is so good.
Humphrey Jr., the aggressor this time. And he draws contact against Jalen Carson. That'll be his first.
You know, Jalen Carson has really impressed me, especially in that second quarter when Hooks, took a seat. I thought Carson really stepped up and played well down low.
Tonight's game brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is your local full-service John Deere dealer. Browse our selection online or come in and test drive. Get in a yellow seat today. Equipment built to last, so you can save big. 12501 Reynolds Drive, Fishers, Indiana, or call Reynolds Farm Equipment directly at 317-849-0810. First free throw off the mark. One more upcoming for Aaron Humphrey Jr. You surprised they haven't tried to force feed him down low more than they did just that one possession? Drew contact, split the pair.
No, are you talking about Attucks?
No, I'm talking about Tindley
okay.
Passing it down low to Humphrey Jr. He averages about 15 a game.
Yeah.
You mentioned in your keys how key a part of this offense is. That's the first time they've gone low to him and let him go to work.
Right, yeah, no, that's a really good point.
Hooks obviously impacts that, right?
Sure,
having another big fellow there, but
it does.
That time he had the matchup with Carson, and he utilized it.
So this defense has really, I think, taken Tindley out of anything comfortable. So, yes, the short answer is yes, they should go back to that.
Carson gets to go from the elbow. He's now got 6. Lead is 12. I think we have a turnover.
Yeah.
Back to Crispus Attucks.
They are going to be so difficult to beat. It doesn't matter what class. It doesn't matter when, where, because of this defense. Even if you're having a bad shooting night, as long as you play this kind of defense, you can win championships.
Well, unfortunately for Crispus Attucks, not to undermine your point, you're exactly right, Doc, as a catch-and-shoot 3 is good by Isaiah Stafford. They are unfortunately in what I like to call, to borrow a term from soccer, the group of death sectional.
Yeah.
Where you have the mix of Cathedral, Warren Central, Lawrence Central, to name a few in there.
Mm-hmm.
All teams that have north of 14 wins or better. As a frenetic possession leads to another shot at point-blank range, and this time Barnett's able to get it to go. It leads to a Tindley timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll take one as well and continue that point about the group of death when we come back. It's a lead for Attucks on IndianaSRN and IPSathletics.tv.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
Sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back at Crispus Attucks High School, Jimmy Cook alongside Doc Stratton out of the full timeout by Tindley. Their largest deficit of the game they faced at 17. They look to inbound, a little full court pressure being applied by Crispus Attucks. We mentioned in losses as Brown's in the coffin corner, somehow gets it away, and they somehow get out of that unscathed. Humphrey Jr. set back and rejected by Carson. For Tindley, though, as I was mentioning, in their losses to 4A schools, they're losing by an average of 22. We're in that frame right now as a blocking foul is called against Tindley, though it should be noted they were very much alive in this one, even as recently as the halftime break, now by just 7
yeah.
at halftime. Foul goes against Tindley. That'll be on DJ Viverett. Shot off the mark. Rebound won by Tindley. DJ long on the triple. Humphrey Jr. tapped at the board, and they'll say it was last touch by Hooks. Take a look back a second ago.
So I like that because they got it to the free throw line. That's where you want to facilitate it against a 2-3 zone. And that's what happened is both guards went to the free throw line, and that opened up that three-pointer right there.
We always talk about, particularly for a 1A program, I think you should always, which Tindley's done this better than anybody, schedule higher competition.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're doing yourself a disservice when the games really matter. As a nice runner there by Brown. You want to play the best of the best now in any class, so you're prepared for almost every situation by the time the postseason rolls around.
So, and the funny thing, about Indiana postseason in every sport is everybody makes it, right? So, really, this loss is not, in the end, going to impact your goal whatsoever.
Barnett knocks down the triple. He now has 7 in this quarter. Give him 11 on the night. The lead ballooned to 18.
Oh, geez.
There's another turnover. Slam time. Are they going to travel?
Don't do it. So, again, the spacing right there, you can do it the same way at the free throw line. You can do it the same way down in the block down there. As long as you get that guard to drop a little bit, you get that wide open shot.
They called a foul on Donovan Barnett.
As the play was happening?
That's his second.
I'm a little
first
confused on. So did they count the basket then?
Well, from our vantage point, the way the camera panned away, I can't tell where the foul occurred, as there's a basket by Tindley. I do know that the layup or dunk that would have been for Crispus Attucks did not count.
Yeah.
So it happened before the shot. Barnett contorts his body, can't get it to go. Hall, a lob. Miscommunication there. Quickly up ahead to Hooks. He throws it down with 2 hands. Rides the elevator to the top floor and throws it down. And now we got a loose ball foul going against Tindley.
I'll tell you what, when they're on and when shots are falling, which they're starting to fall, Attucks is just so much fun to watch. I mean, all due respect to Tindley,
Let's take a look back at this magic carpet ride.
I mean, just look at this. Just look, boom, and then just totally jumps the opposite way that he's going. That didn't fall this time, but that's just part of the athleticism that's out there tonight.
Well, that's the early stages of all this. So that was the missed shot, and now on this drive, you'll see hooks.
You can't fall asleep at all. I mean, you blink, and that's what happens, right? I mean, Attucks is just so good at pushing that ball.
Off the knee there of Tindley. They'll go back to the Tigers. Some subs coming in. Donovan Scott will check in for Crispus Attucks.
So, unfortunately, we talked at the beginning of the game about matchups, right, and how some teams match up against other teams better. Not only does Attucks seem to have the deeper team here, but they match up well against Tindley, and they're basically the same team. They're just bigger and faster at this point. So
Stafford almost fell down, able to get that triple up in the air, could not knock it home. Tindley will walk it up. Well, I mentioned to you coming into the broadcast that at least on paper, ignoring the matchups and the similarities in terms of style of play, as there's a travel called against Aaron Humphrey Jr. It'll go back to Crispus Attucks, that against higher class competition, which is usually the case for 1A programs, even somebody as dominant as Tindley, not always the case, but more often than not, you're going to be having the deck stacked against you based on talent and prospect ability due to larger enrollment size. There's a lob. Hooks could not gather it. Able to track it down, though. But the point being that in their losses against Class 4A teams, they're losing by an average of 22.
Yeah.
And in their wins, they're winning by about 7. So not a lot of in-between.
Yeah, but, kind of.
Hooks threw it down and won. Jalen Hooks on another plane of existence with that slam.
Oh, he better be careful. Somebody's parents are going to call the police. Oh, my goodness.
Take a look at this masterpiece.
I just kind of thought he was going to do a cute little Euro step, and then he just exploded. Oh, man.
It was graceful for a second and then deadly on a dime.
It really was.
Hooks can't convert the old-fashioned three-point play, but the lead is 20, and the damage has been done. Long three-pointer to answer by Brown. He now has 14.
Getting back to that, it's kind of what you talked about. At the end of the day, this loss does nothing for Tindley, but get them a little bit better. It shows them what a real basketball team is gonna look like down the road, and they're not going to face anybody in the tournament better than this.
Hanging, contorting, and scoring there was Donovan Scott, his first basket of the night. Looked like he wanted a dunk, too. Everybody wants in on the dunk party. Lob. That one, miscommunication. Hooks lays it up and in. Did Stafford throw that to himself?
To himself, yeah. I don't understand why that maybe wasn't a travel.
Hooks gets the basket anyway.
It may have been touched.
Take a look back at it.
So he throws it. Yeah, it was blocked. It was blocked.
Well, good presence of mind there by the officials to realize that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that they could hear it better than we could,
Davis gets the layup to fall. Skip pass. Now Hooks controls. A minute to go in the quarter. Ware for three. No. It'll go out of bounds. Stay with the Tigers. Tonight's game brought to you by Chimney Solutions. Look no further than Chimney Solutions Indiana. It's our very first customer. We've been committed to delivering the highest level of customer care and the most professional and reliable chimney and fireplace services. Call Chimney Solutions today at 317-757-9679. Carson working the handles. He'll rise. Not that time.
Surprisingly, Tindley has gone back to man-to-man, and that was amazing.
It was a bullet of a pass and a reverse layup that's true for Kevin Butler. The juniors appeared in 10 games for Tindley. Tried to force feed Hooks. Ball's up for grabs. Everybody hits the deck. And a timeout, I believe, is going to be granted to Crispus Attucks. All smiles for those Tigers.
So,
30-second timeout. We'll stay here and look back at this Hooks play.
So, you should not be able to throw a bullet like that far and be able to hit it. Like, that was amazing.
Make that the layup by Butler, rather.
Usually it's a bounce pass, right? But that was just a straight bullet. That was a beautiful pass. So as far as I was kind of shocked a second ago. So they went back to man-to-man, and the problem with that is now they're not in very good rebounding position, because when they were 2-3, the shot goes up. There was 3 to 4 guys from Attucks around the perimeter.
Here's my thought: if Tindley thinks this one's in the cooler, it's over.
Sure. Practice it.
Yeah. Right. You're getting back to what your style of play is, which is generally man-to-man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dominant presence you want to display when you get kind of sectional time.
Yeah.
This is probably the tip of competition you're going to face the rest of the way.
Sure.
Why not play man-to-man the rest of the way?
Yeah.
And, like you said, the margin's not going to matter.
Right.
But getting better.
Absolutely.
For the postseason will.
So what you're saying is basically what every coach does in a blowout loss. You either put your subs in, like Attucks is going to do here shortly, and then run your base stuff, right? Or if you're down, it looks like he's still got some of his starters in. You're going to try to find something to build on for next game or next couple of games. You don't want the number at the end of the game to really hurt you going forward. So yeah, it's basically a glorified practice at this point of the game.
Final seconds behind the back to Hooks. He threw it down with 2 hands. This is getting ridiculous.
What a pass. Are you serious?
Shot at the horn almost goes down for Davis, and that'll end this third quarter. A dominant celebratory one for Crispus Attucks. They're on top 57-38. Fourth quarter up next on IPSathletics.tv.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Back at Crispus Attucks High School, let's take a look back. This highlight play to end the quarter. Isaiah Stafford, so pretty.
Yeah, like we said, during the timeout, the game is just moving so slow for Attucks, right? And it's the exact opposite for Tindley. So Attucks, what they try to do on defense is it's not necessarily stealing the ball every time. It's not necessarily blocking it every time, even though they've done a great job at that. It's just putting pressure on the ball.
8 points for Hooks in that quarter. Give him 17 on the night. Some contact at the rim will lead to some free throws for the Tindley Tigers.
And it's the exact opposite for Attucks, right? I mean, right now everything is going their way. They see things way before they happen. Their vision is wide open. They've got, the people that are there on their side. They're having a good time tonight.
Well, I'll say this much, and this is, if you're an Attucks fan, your mindset. You look back at the schedule for you. Just a few nights ago, you beat Gary 21st Century, another 1A program, beat them handily by 42, and that's after 2 tough losses to 4A schools on the back end of January. So you've enjoyed, you have earned a fun night on your calendar.
And that's at the forefront of coaches and AD's mind when they get together to put the teams together and a schedule and in football you have a little bit more, there's a lot of basketball games, but in the end, coaches, they like to make it a little bit easier going into, so that your team's on a roll going into the tournament. And they look at those things, do I need a 1A game after I play this game? And so it's absolutely on purpose.
Now, on the flip side of that is there's an offensive rebound for Crispus Attucks and a long triple knocked down by Jalen Carson. They really are just on another level right now offensively.
Mm-hmm. And if their shot's falling, I tell you, they are going to be oh, geez.
That's knocked down. On the other end, thinking about a slam with Stafford. Now Brown tried to throw it the other way, but unable to scoop that up there. It was Jelks.
Yeah, I got Pinkston really had some anger let out on that dunk right there. That was pretty cool.
You know the frustration's going to build because Tindley knows that they're a proud and tough bunch and are ranked inside, just outside the top 5 in Class 1A for a reason.
Yes.
This is a program that, by every stretch of the imagination, is going to compete for your sectional, your regional, even your state title. There's state title hopes on that floor.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And
Carson with a tough finish.
I really think that this going in for Tindley, this was a measuring stick game. Okay, how good are we really?
There's a block and a jump ball tie-up forced by Hooks. That's so tough in midair to force that, and the arrow will favor Crispus Attucks.
Wow. Yeah, that is tough. Going to the basket that hard. There was a little contact, but, it was a lot of it ball. So, it could have gone either way there. But, yeah, to go into the trees and not be rewarded is pretty difficult.
That'd be an and one in the league. I think that might be on the floor here, though. Let's see. They are going to count the basket. How about that?
Man,
Carson.
Carson's really going after it here.
Foul is on Pinkston. That's his second. And one won't fall. And Jalen Carson full head of steam on that drive. Robinson sent back by Barnett.
I really do. I agree with you that you should be taking shots that close to the hoop. But at the end of the day, when you're driving like that, you're driving that way because they're letting you. And you're going into their trap. You have to, if you're Tindley, you have to bring a guy back from the other side to keep the defense off of you.
Hooks almost jumped that passing lane and another travel. That's been a big bugaboo tonight for Tindley, is keeping the feet set before committing to action.
It's because of the defense. It really is. Those types of things happen. That and not catching the ball, like you normally would, when a team is so aggressively, just up in your face all night.
Barnett, no. Nice board and finish for Keyshawn Ware. This has been an absolute domination for Attucks in the second half. Brown left that short. Quickly up ahead. Barnett gives to Ware. He's feeling it. 5 straight for the sophomore.
Well, he looks good, doesn't he?
And just another weapon in this revolving door of talent for Crispus Attucks. Second chance leads to a foul. And it'll send Aaron Humphrey Jr. to the charity stripe. The leading scorer for Tindley has been held in check for most of the night.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, too. You had mentioned it. I think it was around the second quarter, or actually around halftime, where, they haven't made an assertive effort to get the ball down to Humphrey all night.
Tonight's game brought to you by the IHSAA Sportsmanship Program. We want to thank our fans for their continued commitment to promote good sportsmanship. Remember, the folks in black and white shirts are doing this job for our student athletes. Be respectful, we thank you. Also by Officially Human, our foundational goal is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the fields and courts. Check out our website at officiallyhuman.com. Timeout on the floor. It's a full timeout taken by Tindley. We will step away as well. Attucks rolling right along on IPSathletics.tv.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
I can heard that solo.
You see my kid?
Yeah.
Welcome back to IPSathletics.tv and IndianaSRN's coverage of high school hoops. We're at Crispus Attucks. Jimmy Cook alongside Doc Stratton. Just about a minute and a half from the halfway mark of this fourth quarter. Crispus Attucks with the basketball. And on top by 37. This was a 7-point game at halftime. And Crispus Attucks really just showing their dominance in this second half. Ware hit a corner three a couple minutes ago. Unable to get a clean look there. Now he has it. No hesitation. Off the mark.
It is strange to see who's in right now for Attucks. You can see Tindley is working their bench players.
A lot of starters in there you're observing.
Yeah.
Long three. Not that time. Rebound taken by Carson. Smith will walk it up. Around a screen. Smith can't turn it home. We'll get a chance to earn the 2 points the hard way, the charity stripe. This fourth quarter brought to you by your Indiana High School Athletic Association. I suppose that could be because you're running out of game time, right? And I don't mean tonight. I mean the season.
In the season.
For the Tigers,
Right.
just 3 games left. Perhaps you're still trying to get familiarity with different lineups out there, a mixture of starters and the bench.
Yeah, you never know unless you're like just following one team. You never know what's going on in their locker room. There's so many reasons why coaches do so many things, and at the end of the day, you're responsible for coaching one team, and that's yours. And if you're blowing out another team, it's not your job to coach that team too. So, I don't have a problem with it. Like you said, they're getting close to the tournament. They've got to work on some things.
Three-pointer off the mark. Free throw is knocked down a second ago. 4.5 left in this final quarter. Oh, hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Did James Smith, but too much. They'll say he shuffled the feet.
Boy, now that we got the sound back,
which by the way, hats off to our production team as always. Jerry and Chance fixing that at halftime.
But I noticed a little bit of talking going back and forth.
A little bit of chirping. Clean defense there by Hooks. He towered over Antonio Robinson there. Shot off the mark. We'll go back to Crispus Attucks. Stepped on the line, he did.
So Mims, who was very active early on in the game, comes back in. He's been pretty quiet this half, though. I don't think he's been in an awful lot.
Yeah, they've been utilizing a number of different. Mims is a human pinball machine. Shot off the mark. And like an Energizer bunny almost as well. Just pure raw energy off the bench. Catch and shoot three won't go. Good rebound there by Robinson. They throw it away. Back to Crispus Attucks. But, there is you say somebody has a pep in their step.
Mm-hmm.
Mims has 5 peps in his step. It's boom, boom, boom.
You could there's a lot of confidence in those steps.
It's not reckless either.
Yeah.
You see his handles. It's precise. And great piece to this team. That skip pass is picked off by Robinson. He tried to readjust and leave it at the doorstep there for Butler, but a little miscommunication as a turnover.
Yeah, so it looks like some of the younger guys are going to come in and get some time here for Tindley. And again, like we said, before with Attucks, they've got all of their starters in for the most part, or their key subs, and I'm fine with it. Like I said, they're coming off a couple losses. Maybe they're working on something.
I want to remind you that coming up the rest of the week on IndianaSRN, we'll have swimming and diving girls state finals the next 2 days, Friday and Saturday on IndianaSRN. Long triple and a putback slam by Hooks. Could not get it to go. That's a tad too long for him. There's a nice layup for Charles Jelks. He gets into the scorebook. Also should be noted, we'll have plenty of hoops, girls regional action this weekend. And then myself will be on the call for some boys basketball tomorrow as Heritage Christian takes on Roncalli. We'll also have Lafayette Jeff taking on Tech. Kurt Darling and Joey Lindstrom on the call for that one. Pass ahead. Ware, knockdown three. He's had a couple of those. Hit one from either corner now. An answer by Hall. That one's long. Rebound won by Kevin Briscoe is just checked in. Scott to the rim. Lays it up and in. Donovan Scott now with 4. More scheduling information can always be found by going to IndianaSRN.org and following us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. There's a turnover. Here come the Tigers. Pulling to the volleyball line there is Charles Veal. I mean, the game's well in hand, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think that's just a kid that maybe doesn't get in very much, and he's going to get his right there.
He's a senior. He's a senior, Doc.
I don't know.
Euro there for Keyshawn Ware.
Yeah,
I mean, Coach Hawkins either has it registered in his head for later or is indifferent about it because there wasn't an immediate stoppage.
Right.
Quickly up ahead, catch and shoot. Ware. That time he was feeling the hot hand.
It is interesting to see where these teams are right now, just in this snapshot.
And you know what? I easily could see, just as much you could see going the other way, but I could easily see both of them. Nice drive, finish.
Oh, nice.
Donovan Scott with an and one and an old-fashioned three-point play upcoming. I would not be surprised at all to see both these teams at Bankers Life.
Oh, no.
Next month,
yeah.
In April, I should say.
Yeah, no, they are, in their classes, they are definitely two of the teams to look out for sure.
We mentioned earlier, this is a point we're just circling back to, so we get back to it coming out of a break and then forgot all about it, but how Attucks we could easily see moving through. Well, they have what I like to call the group of death sectional in sectional 10.
Right.
They're going to get a lane violation, walk it the other way, give it to Tindley, but Lawrence North 17-2, Cathedral 14-2, Warren Central 14-5, Attucks 15-4. Those are your top 4 teams. Then it goes Lawrence Central 10-7, North Central 8-9, Tech 8-8. That's just your sectional. Mims finishes. I mean, it is an insanely competitive, insanely tough, full-out brawl to make it out of sectional 10.
Whoever comes out of that sectional is going to be one of the favorites to keep going all the way. Are you serious?
Mims
my God.
Could not finish it, but some fancy moves there.
See, and what you said, he's totally in control when he does that.
Tried to throw it off I think he tried to throw it off the leg of his own teammate.
Yeah.
Inadvertently, and Jelks, it's a turnover. Attucks was on the doorstep, by the way, last year of a sectional title.
Yeah. So, I mean, nothing against Malachi Coaster here, but he just tried to do a similar move on the way back, and he did not have the control that Mims did over on the other side.
What a flight down the lane for Donovan Scott.
He can get to the hoop really well.
Under a minute now in this final quarter. The lead is 40. Hall. Now Glenn looking for options. I did get a fun text that I'll break right now. I wasn't going to announce who was on the call with me for Heritage Christian Roncalli tomorrow, but the coach, Keith Myers himself, has texted me and said he will be on that broadcast barring any updates. So the coach will be back in the saddle.
Yeah. You guys were stuck with me tonight, so we
get
hope
out of here, Doc.
We hope Keith's getting to feeling better. So it
just speaks to the roster that IndianaSRN's put together. Have a nice revolving door of talent. A dunk contest like jam by Donovan Scott. At least he wanted to attempt. Misfired. I think they're going to say that is the game. A dominant showing by the Crispus Attucks Tigers. They win it by 40, 85-45. And a great momentum win for the Tigers, taking care of business against their last two 1A opponents. Doc, some final thoughts from both ends. Starting first with Tindley, we talked about how many takeaways you can have from the coaching staff. Plenty of stuff to adapt to on the film, but you knew win or loss, there was going to be more important intel and data about your team that you take away from this one for the postseason upcoming. Yeah, you show that film to your team, and there's a lot of, if you just break it up into individual plays, there's a lot to learn because there was a lot of the same mistakes being made over and over again. As far as Attucks goes, you know what? Really quick, Jalen Hooks had just an amazing game. Him and Carson also, but I just want to give a quick shout out to Jalen Hooks for his sportsmanship here at the end of the game. He walked over to the coaching staff and physically shook their hand. It was just something that you could tell was important to him. So kudos to his mom and dad for raising a great kid. Yeah, and kudos to his mom and dad, and kudos to Coach Hawkins and the coaching staff here, because they've, and any coaching staff, you view your players like your very own kids. You want to take care of them and give them an opportunity to grow and continue as men. And Coach Hawkins has always, during his tenure, this now for him his 5th season at the helm of the Tigers, taken care of high-class, outstanding gentlemen on his roster. And you could tell there, too, they had an opportunity to kind of get into a tit-for-tat, there against Tindley, but they did a great job of staying composed and looking within and saying, you know what, we're going to play Crispus Attucks basketball, and then they just ended up having fun tonight, and that was fun to see. Pleasure as always, Doc. Up next for Crispus Attucks, they will take on Indianapolis, George Washington in 8 days on February 19th. For the Tindley Tigers, they will next be in action in 2 days when they travel to take on Heron. They'll close the season with Ben Davis, Fort Wayne Blackhawk, and Carmel still on the schedule for the Crispus Attucks Tigers. But they win this one, improving to 16-4 on the season. Meanwhile, the Tindley Tigers fall to 12-8. Want to give a good. So just a quick congratulations here. You can see the Tigers out there on the court. 100th win. It was Coach Hawkins' 100th win in his 5th year here with Crispus Attucks. That is good on you to recognize that. Plenty of gift bags and goodies for Coach Hawkins. That includes, of course, a state title back in the 17-18 campaign, but just one of the bright coaching minds in Central Indiana and in the state, quite frankly. So hats off to Coach Hawkins for that 100th win. And just real quick, hats off to his wife, because being a coach for that long, I know what it takes to be a successful coach, and it starts at home with the wife, and so kudos to her as well. Well said. Also want to give special thanks to Jerry and Chance, our lead producer, and our cameraman tonight, doing a great job powering through some technical difficulties early. No better in the business to get us back on track. Again, your final in this one, Crispus Attucks 85, Tindley 45. For Doc, Jerry, Chance, I'm Jimmy Cook. Until we talk to you next time, so long, everybody.